everyone. Today I am going to share a screen with the introduction of W.H.Auden and his three well-known poems. So I am setting my screen. So this work we have done. Stuti gave some introductory information about W.H.Auden and first poem, and I have prepared a small introduction on remaining two poems. Stuti has some health issue, that is why she is not able to speak. On behalf of her, I'm giving the whole introduction of the Auden and remaining two poems. So first, we have prepared about short introduction of W.H.Auden, and W.H.Auden was born in 1907 and died in 1973. Full name of W.H.Auden is Winston Hughes Auden. Was born in York, England, in February 21, 1907. He moved to Birmingham during his childhood and was educated at Christ Church, Oxford. And he was greatly influenced by the Thomas Hardy and Robert Frost, William Blake, Emily Dickinson, and the Stephen Spender. And that we have included the long life history of W.H.Auden. And W.H.Auden served as the Chancellor of the Academy of America Poets from the 1954 to 1973, and divided most of the second half of his life between the resident in New York City and Australia, and he died in Vienna on September 29, 1973. These are the poems which we have studied in our syllabus. That first is Epitaph of Tyrant, second is September 1st, 1939, and third one is In Memory of W.B. Yeats. So the first poem, Epitaph on a Tyrant, is a very small, but it is a masterpiece of W.H.Auden. Here we are putting some brief analysis of the poem. And I would like to say that the rhyme scheme of this poem is the ABBCAC, and there is the first rhyme with a 5, with lines 5, then line 2 and 3 rhyme, and line 4 and 6 rhymes. The poem consists of one stanza. Then the poem, second poem, September 1st, 1939. It is a long poem in a way, and I am putting the whole poem here, and also the brief analysis of the poem. That W.H.Auden's September 1st, 1939 was the first published in the October 18, 1939 edition of the New Republic. Before being including in the poets collection another time. Written upon the outbreak of the World War II, the poem captured the feeling of a fear and uncertainty in the face of the fascism and war, as well as glimmers on hope that people might come together to counter authoritarianism. It is one of the Auden's most well-known poem and widely considered one of the greatest poem of the 20th century. Ironically, however, the poet himself grew to despite it. Despite his disavowal of poem, September 1st, 1939 remained a text to which people turned the time of the crisis, including famously in the aftermath of September 11, 2001. And the third poem is that In the Memory of W.B. Yeats. This poem is also very long, and this poem is divided into 3 parts. It is a elegy, but it is a different kind of elegy. I know. I knew that. I know very much about this poem because I had studied this poem in my last year of TYB. And I am putting the whole analysis and summary of the poem. In the memory of W.B. Yeats is a kind of elegy. I'm sorry, I forgot to include the date of publication, but this poem is published in 1939. And this poem is a different kind of elegy by the W.H. Auden. W.H. Auden admired W.B. Yeats, but he did not exaggerate his contribution and the impact of his death on the poetry and art in a general. William Butler Yeats died in a winter. The brooks were frozen and all airports were quite empty and deserted. The statues were covered with snow. And the thermometer showed that the day he died was a dark, cold day. Nature followed its course, but the mourners kept his poem alive. They did not allow the death of the poet to interfere with their admiration for his poetry. However, for its mind and body failed. He was no more, but he lay through his poetry and skating among unfamiliar readers and admirers of his poetry. W.H. Auden says that the rest of the civilization moved on while a few thousand people would continue to remind the poet and lament his death. In the second section, there is all summary is from the first section. Now the second section. The second section of the poem Yeats is called "A Silly Like Us" by W.H. Auden. W.H. Auden says that he is not a very good, and he is not admire him. He says that he is a silly like us. The poet says that W.B. Yeats was also silly and ordinary like us. He was not an exceptional hero different from a common man. He was a mad, and it was a mad Ireland that made him a poet. The suffering of Ireland turned him into the poet and made him write a poetry. So with the help of the Mad Ireland, W.B. Yeats achieved more success. This poem is a well-known and very famous poem by the W.B. Yeats, Mad Ireland. W.H. Auden further says that time is intolerant of the brave and innocent. It is a different toward humans, whether they are ordinary or a celebrity. The, the poem is an elegy but written in a different mood, and there is no serious lamentation. Usually we know that whenever the great figure, great poet, great person were died, we lamenting on them. But this is a different kind of elegy. W.H. Auden not more lamenting on in this poem, and there is no serious lamenting, and there is no undue exaggerated admiration of the dead poet. W.H. Auden loved Yeats, but as a rational poet, he does not lament his death in a traditional manner. He pays a tribute to him, proving that poetry survives even in the cold, dark world of a desire. So this is the whole poem, and I also mentioned the theme of poem, and theme is the first one is the lose of the great poem, then second is the memory, and third one is the morning. So thank you. This is a short and brief introduction about these three poems, and Suti also contribute in this.